What are the mandatory information to be included on your olive oil label? Hello everybody, my name is Stefano from Labelado. Are you an olive oil producer and are you going to put your product on the market? Before doing this, you need to know which are the essential informations you need to include on your labels. Here in my mini guide, I will help you understand what are those data that you cannot forget. This video is intended to be an informative guide and not an essential vademecum. I always recommend you to contact an expert to be sure you have created the legally perfect label. In any case, here is the mandatory information for your extra virgin oil labels. First of all, sales denomination. EU Regulation 29, 2012, Article 3, Paragraph 1 defines the denomination of olive oils and extra virgin olive oil in particular. The first mandatory information for extra virgin olive oil labels is correct name, that is extra virgin olive oil. Then we have net quantity. The net quantity of extra virgin oil must be expressed in extended form. For example, 0.5 liters. Other indications for volume units other than liter can also be used, such as centiliters or milliliter, in extended or abbreviated form without an abbreviation dot. Remember, however, that extra virgin olive oil sold to the final consumer can be placed in packaging with a maximum capacity of 5 liters. Then let's talk about minimum storage term and expiration date. The minimum storage term must be indicated by the date preceded by the expression "to be consumed," preferably by. If the date includes the indication of the day and "to be consumed," preferably by the end in other cases. The date can be placed immediately next to the previous expressions or in another position on the package, for example on the cap, as long as its position is indicated next to the previous sentences. Example, "to be consumed," preferably by the date shown on the cap. Although the regulation does not require the indication of a production batch, I suggest that you put it on your label in order to simplify any product traceability procedures. Next, we have conditions of conservation and/or use. For all foods that require special storage and/or use conditions, these conditions must be clearly indicated on the packaging or on a label attached to it. In the case of extra virgin olive oil, the heat, light, and oxygen contained in the air can alter the condition of your product. For this reason, it is important to define the correct storage conditions of the product. For example, store the product in a tightly closed bottle in a cool and dry place away from light and heat sources. Then we have the name or business name and address of the food business operator. First of all, it is necessary to clarify what is meant by this term. The food business operator, who is responsible for the information placed on olive oil packaging, is the operator under whose name or business name the product is marketed. By law, it is mandatory to indicate the name of the company that markets the product and not the name and address of those who produce or pack it. This does not mean that the indication of the manufacturer or packer is forbidden. Indeed, if you decide to indicate one or more of the other figures, you must pay particular attention to do it correctly. It must be remembered that if you want to indicate the producer of extra virgin olive oil, it is necessary to indicate the company name who actually produced the oil. The miller who transformed the olives into oil, not the grower or bottler. Country of origin. Another mandatory indication for extra virgin olive oil label is undoubtedly the designation of origin, that is, the indication of a geographical name. If the extra virgin olive oil is produced in Italy, terms such as made in Italy, origin Italy, or other equivalent can be used. The designation of origin depends on the geographical area in which the olives were harvested and in which the mill where the oil was extracted is located. Next, we have nutrition facts label. Detailed nutritional information can be inserted on the back label and repeated in synthetic form on the front label. Then let's talk about batch. Another mandatory information for oil labels is the batch. Where should you enter this mandatory information? The mandatory information for oil labels must be entered clearly and clearly visible and readable by the end consumer. In the main visual field of the label, the product name, origin, and net quantity must be entered. In addition, all the other mandatory information for oil labels previously mentioned must be placed on the label, not necessarily in the main field. As mentioned in the introduction, this video is intended to be a brief tutorial of the mandatory information to be included on your oil labels. I always recommend that you ask support to an expert in order to avoid unpleasant mistakes. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos about design, packaging, e-commerce. Don't forget to like the video, share this video with your friends and colleagues. I'm Stefano from Labelato, and as always, love you all. Ciao!